Dear children, today we are going to learn in Maths, Chapter 15, Statistics. Last year in class 10, you have learned some basic concepts in statistics, that is, some measures of central tendency, that is mean, median and mode are the major topics that you have learned in class 10. In class 11, you are learning certain more measures of measures of dispersion, which is going to be discussed in this chapter. First of all, statistics deals with rough data. Data means numbers. Numbers give you information. So, statistics deals with data collected for specific purposes. It can be for climatic purposes, for educational purposes. Anything can be, information can be obtained by analyzing data which is respective for that purpose. We can make certain decisions, that is certain very important decisions about the data, and by analyzing it using certain important statistical tools. We have also learned how to represent data graphically. We have learned histograms, we have learned bar graphs, we have learned pie chart, etc. Here, after taking a quick recap on measures of central tendency, that is mean, median and mode, we will be moving on to measures of dispersion. Measure of central tendency indicates if we have a set of data, then measure of central tendency means finding out the central value of that particular data. It can be either mean, median or mode. How can we find the mean? Mean means it is, or the alternative term is average. That is, if a set of data is there, we simply find the sum of the data, divide it with the number of observations or the number of data points, then you will get the mean. How do you find the median? Median is simply arrange the data in ascending order, find out the middle value. If the number of data is an odd number, simply find the middle value, or if the number of data points is an even number, find the average of the two middle values. What is mode? Mode means the most frequent observation. If we have a set of data and find out which data point is occurring the maximum number of times, that particular value or that particular data point is known as the mode of that particular set of data. These are the common measures of central tendency what we have discussed in class 10. Using measures of central tendency, we will get an idea about just the middle value on which the data points or the observations are concentrated. But always, this observation may not help in some situations. Sometimes the data point may be very much scattered. That is, for example, if we look here, this is a line, let this point be 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, let it be like this. There are some observations lying here, some observations lying here, some observations lying here. From this figure, we can easily identify that the central portion or the maximum number of data is being concentrated on the value 10. That means the measure of central tendency can be approximated as 10. But look at another value. Look at another graph. Again, you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Is it possible for us to find a point where the data the whole set of observations is concentrated. Here, variation, that is the data is being spread from the value 2 to 18. And it is not easy for us to find out a middle value in which the data, the whole observation set is being concentrated. That is, the measure of central tendency is an invalid measure here in these type of data where variation in data is more. That is why we are going to learn about measures of dispersion. Measures of dispersion means we will be learning about how the data is being scattered and from which value to which value the data is being scattered and how the scatter of the data is being measured. That is what we are going to learn in this chapter, that is the statistics, the measures under the topic measures of dispersion. There are several measures of dispersion that we are going to discuss in this chapter. The major ones are range, quartile deviation, mean deviation and standard deviation. In this chapter, we are going to learn only about mean deviation and standard deviation. Range, we have already discussed it. Range is, if we have a set of data, the difference between the maximum value and the minimum value will give you the range of that set of observations. We are going to discuss in this chapter about mean deviation and standard deviation. First, we will be dealing with mean deviation. What do you mean by mean deviation of a set of observations or a set of data? Mean deviation means, first, if we have a set of data, then we have to take the difference between a central value and each and every observation. That means the difference between every observation and a central value is to be taken. Find its sum, then divide it with the number of observations. You will get the mean deviation of a set of data. For example, let us consider one set of data. That is, if we have the data set xi, let it be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Now, to find mean deviation, what you have to do is find an approximate middle value of this observation. What will be the middle value of this observation? We can consider 9 as the middle value of this set of data and mark it as A. Now, what you have to find is, you have to find xi minus A. So, what is xi minus A? 6 minus 9 is minus 3. 7 minus 9 minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. Then we have to find the absolute values of the deviations. Absolute values means we just take the magnitude, we don't consider the sign. So here the absolute values are 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. Now you have to find the sum, that is 6 plus 6, 12. Now mean deviation is sum of absolute values of observations, sum of absolute values of deviations divided by total number of observations. So that is 12 divided by total number of observations, it is 7. So you have to write the value in decimal form. The mean deviation is given as 12 by 7. In statistics, we deal with different types of data. The major two types of data we deal with are grouped and ungrouped data. First, we will look through what is ungrouped data. Ungrouped data means simply raw data. That means data points will be simply written down like 1, 1, 2, 5, 7, 5, 4, 6, 8, 9, 1, 3, 5, etc. Data points will be simply written. It won't be grouped or arranged in any particular matter. These type of data is known as ungrouped data. That means the data points will be simply written down without any order or without any pattern. That is how ungrouped data looked like. look like? Now, look, what is grouped data? Grouped data, we have two different types. That is, we have discrete grouped data and continuous grouped data. First, we will look what is discrete grouped data. If we have a set of observations xi, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and its corresponding frequencies are plotted or given, then 2 is getting repeated 3 times, 3 is getting repeated 5 times, 4, 2, 5, 7. What does this mean? If we write this set of data in ungrouped form, we can write it as 2 should be 2 is present 3 times, that is 2 will be there 3 times, then 3 will be 3 occurs 5 times, then 4 occurs 2 times, 5 occurs 7 times, 6 occurs 3 times. This is the data, this represented here in this table. That means when we write it in ungrouped form, it will look like this. 2 is being repeated 3 times, 3 is being repeated 5 times, 4 is being repeated 2 times, 5 being repeated 7 times, and 6 is being repeated 3 times. So this data is being arranged and written in tabular form with the corresponding frequencies. This frequency represents 2 occurs in the data 3 times. That is what we have learned. So this type of data is known as discrete grouped data. Now we will learn about continuous grouped data. What is continuous grouped data? In class 10, while drawing histograms, you might have come across data, that is class in data including class intervals, that is from 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, like that. So those type of data in which class intervals are involved and their corresponding frequencies are given along with the class intervals, those type of data is known as continuous grouped data. For example, we will write the class as 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. Their corresponding frequencies, if we write, let it be 5, 4, 7, 3, 4. What does this frequency means? That means in between 0 and 10, in this particular set of data, there are 5 observations. In between 10 and 20, how many observations are there? 4 observations. Similarly, between 20 and 30, you'll have 7 observations. That is what this frequency means. This type of data is known as continuous grouped data. Now we will discuss about mean deviation for different types of data. First we will discuss mean deviation for ungrouped data. That means the data will be simply given. No frequencies are there. For ungrouped data, first what you have to do is step 1. First find the measure of central tendency. The measure of central tendency that is to be found out can be either mean or median depending on the question. So first step is to find the measure of central tendency. Measure of central tendency, that is either mean or median, that is depending upon the question. Now step 2. Take the deviation of each and every observation from this mean or median. So find the deviation. Find the deviation of observations from find the deviations of observations from mean or median. Then the third step, find absolute values of deviations. Find absolute values of deviations. Then to find the mean deviation, the fourth step is sum of absolute values. Find the sum of absolute values. Step 5, divide it with the number of observations. Divide with number of observations. If we represent it in formula form, we can write it as mean deviation is equal to sum of modulus of xi minus x bar divided by n, or mean deviation is equal to sum of xi minus median divided by n. This is the case in which the deviation is taken from the mean, and this is the case in which the deviation is taken from the median. How do we find the mean and median? We know it. Mean, sum of the observations divided by total number of observations, and median, how do we find for discrete data or ungrouped data? To find the median, if the number of observations is odd, then you have to first arrange the data in ascending order, then find n plus 1 by 2th observation. That will be the median. If n is even, then you have to take the average of n by 2th as well as n by 2 plus 1 observation. So hope it is clear. If the number of observations is odd, then you have to first arrange the data in ascending order and then find the n plus 1 by 2th observation. That is, if n is equal to 9, then you have to take the fifth observation, that is 10 by 2th observation, that is fifth observation will be your median. What if n is an even number? If n is an even number, then you have to take the average of fifth and sixth observations. That will be your median. Now let us learn how to find the mean deviation about mean of a given set of ungrouped data. This is question number 1 of exercise 15.1. So the data given is 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13 and 17. By looking at the data, it is easy for us to identify that it is an ungrouped set of data. So to find the mean deviation for ungrouped set of data about mean, first we have to find the mean of the given set of data. What is the mean? Mean is sum of all the observations, that is 80, divided by number of observations. Number of observations, we can find it out, it is 8. Therefore, mean x bar, we can find it as 80 divided by 8, that is 10. Now, to find the deviation from mean, what you have to do is, the deviation of each and every observation from the mean is to be taken. That is 4 minus 10 minus 6, 7 minus 10 minus 3, 8 minus 10 minus 2. Similarly, deviation from 10 or deviation from mean is taken. Then we have to take the absolute values. Absolute values means it is simply the magnitude or simply taking the modulus without considering the signs. So it is 6, 3, 2, 1, 0, 2, 3 and 7. Now to find the mean deviation, you have to find the sum of these absolute values, which is 24 divided by the total number of observations, that is 24 by 8, and we obtain the mean deviation as 3. Now let us look how to find the mean deviation about median. This is question number 3 from exercise 15.1. The data points are given as 13, 17, 16, 14, 11, 13, 10, 16, 11, 18, 12 and 17. So we have to find the mean deviation about median. So that to solve this question or to find the mean deviation about median, first we have to find out the median. How can we find out the median for this set of data? First thing, arrange the data in ascending order. Then find the number of observations. It is 12, which is even. So you have to find the average of the middle two observations. It is 13 and 14. So average is 13 plus 14 by 2, which is 13.5. You can approximate it as 14, as it is 13.5. So median should be considered as 14. Now you have to take the deviations of each and every observation from the median value, which is 14. Which will give you minus 1, 3, 2, 0, etc. And find the absolute values. Same thing as what we have done before. Absolute values are 1, 3, 2, 0, 3, 1. And what you have to do is next find the sum of these absolute values, which is 28. Now mean deviation about median is sum of absolute values of deviations from median divided by n, that is 28 by 12, which is equal to 2.33. That is how we find out mean deviation about median. So in this exercise, we have done question numbers 1 and 3. You have to do question numbers 2 and 4 as homework questions, as homework.